All right, so today we're going to do a deep dive on AI phone agents. You sent over a bunch of interesting stuff, marketing materials from Bland AI and CallFluent AI, and an article on AI and call centers. It's crazy. Some of these AI agents sound like they could be real people.
Yeah, the technology behind it is pretty amazing. Natural language processing, machine learning. It's advanced so much in recent years. And what these AI agents can do now, it's not just answering the phone. They can do sales, customer support, appointment scheduling, even collecting customer feedback.
So it's not like those old robot voices anymore, the ones that just
Yeah.
read you a menu of
No,
options.
not even close. These AIs are trained on massive amounts of data, real human conversations, so they learn to sound more human. They can understand keywords, context. They can even detect emotions in your voice.
Wait, they can tell how you're feeling just by your voice?
Yep, that's right. CallFluent AI calls it sentiment analysis. Their AI can actually adapt how it responds, based on if you sound happy or frustrated, or anything in between.
Okay, I'm definitely intrigued. But how does this all work in real life? Bland AI talks about creating these pathways for human-like conversation. What does that even mean?
Well, imagine a huge library of conversations. All these conversations that the AI has analyzed. It uses that to figure out what you really mean, not just the words you're saying. It's kind of like building a map of the conversation.
So it's constantly learning and getting better at understanding us.
Exactly. And the cool part is, it can do more than just talk. It can connect with other tools, like your CRM, your scheduling apps, even AI texting platforms. Bland AI talks about this a lot.
So they're like master multitaskers. Both Bland AI and Synthflow AI also make a big deal out of being available 24/7. That seems like a huge plus for businesses. No more limited hours, no more putting customers on hold.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about maximum efficiency. Customers can get help whenever they need it. Businesses don't have to worry about staffing for every time zone.
It's like having an employee who never sleeps and is super efficient. Okay, we've talked about what they can do. Where are these AI agents actually being used out there in the real world? Any cool examples in the sources you looked at?
Tons. CallFluent AI talks about a dental clinic. They use AI for appointment reminders. They say it really cuts down on no-shows. And then there's a real estate agency. They use it to give instant property details to potential buyers. No more waiting for a callback. And get this, there's a law firm using AI for 204/7 call answering and appointment scheduling.
Wow, that's quite a range. Healthcare to real estate to legal. It seems like any industry could use this.
Absolutely. Each example is solving a very specific problem. The dental clinic wants fewer missed appointments. The real estate agency wants to give clients information instantly. And the law firm wants to offer round-the-clock service.
This is where I want to ask you, our listeners, to think. Where could an AI phone agent make things easier or more efficient for you? In your work or even in your personal life?
It's a really good question to think about, because this technology is going to become more and more common. As we get deeper into this topic, we should consider both the benefits and the potential downsides.
For sure. Let's start with the good stuff. The marketing materials we saw definitely paint a rosy picture.
Right. Everyone talks about cost savings. AI agents don't need salaries or benefits, so businesses can save a lot of money compared to hiring human employees.
Plus, they can handle way more calls at once. So your human employees can focus on more complicated issues. Everyone can be more productive.
And customers don't have to wait on hold as long, so they have a better experience.
And of course, there's that 24/7 availability, which is a big game changer for a lot of businesses.
Totally. And beyond just efficiency, there's also personalization. Remember, sentiment analysis. AI agents can tailor their responses to each caller, so it feels like a real conversation.
It's kind of ironic. AI might make customer service feel more human. But we have to talk about the downsides too. That article you sent about AI in call centers had some valid points.
Of course. One of the big ones is job displacement. If AI gets good enough, a lot of human call center workers could lose their jobs.
That's definitely a serious concern. And there's also the question of transparency. Should customers always be told if they're talking to an AI?
It's a tricky issue. And then there are also concerns about data privacy. These AI agents are collecting a lot of personal information, so companies need to be very careful about how they handle that data.
It all comes down to responsible development, using this technology ethically, thinking about the consequences, and putting safeguards in place.
Absolutely. This is a powerful technology, and we need to make sure we're using it for good.
All right, so we've covered a lot. What AI agents can do, where they're being used, the potential benefits, the potential risks, the ethical considerations. Now let's get into some specifics. You have information on Bland AI, CallFluent AI, and Synthflow AI. How do these three platforms compare to each other?
Well, at a basic level, they all offer AI agents for incoming and outgoing calls. They all use natural language processing, human-like voices, integration with other tools.
So on the surface, they seem pretty similar, but I'm guessing there are some key differences.
Definitely. Let's break down their key features and pricing based on the information you sent.
Sounds good. So bland AI seems to be all about high-end features. They mentioned custom infrastructure, fine-tuned models, custom tools. It sounds like they're going after big businesses.
Yeah, that's definitely their target market. Larger companies with more complex needs, they focus on tailoring their AI to specific industries, making sure it integrates perfectly with existing systems.
And what about cost? Did they give any specifics?
Not really. They have a big talk to sales button on their website, so I'm guessing they figure out pricing on a case-by-case basis.
Okay, so more of a bespoke situation. What about Call Fluent AI? Their marketing materials emphasize user-friendliness and affordability. They even say you can set up an AI agent in under a minute.
Yeah, they're aiming for a wider audience, including smaller businesses and even individuals. Their whole no-code platform thing means you don't need any technical skills to use it.
And their pricing is super clear. They have several tiers, from a basic plan at $37 a month to an agency white label plan for $397 a month.
Plus, they're running a founder's discount right now, so it's even more affordable. They also highlight their huge library of voices, over 30 languages and different accents. That's a big selling point for global companies.
It seems like they've really thought of everything. They even mention integrating with 11 Labs, which is known for its incredibly realistic AI voices. So, okay, bland AI for the big players, Call Fluent AI for the everyday user. What about SynthFlow AI? Where do they fit into all of this?
They seem to be all about real-time capabilities, real-time booking, seamlessly transferring calls between AI and humans, triggering actions after a call ends.
And they have this assistant teams feature where you can have multiple AI agents working together, all under one phone number.
Exactly, like replacing those old clunky phone menus with something way smarter and more engaging.
And it looks like they're targeting agencies specifically. They have a white label option, so agencies can resell it as their own product. Did they say anything about their pricing?
They have tiers, too, like Call Fluent AI, ranging from basic to enterprise. But there are no specific prices on their site. You have to contact them for a quote.
So another one where you have to talk to sales to get the details.
Yeah, it seems to be the standard for platforms that target bigger companies.
Makes sense. They need to understand each client's needs before they can give an accurate price. So we have three very different platforms, each with its own strengths. The world of AI phone agents is already quite diverse, and it's only going to get more complex as the technology continues to evolve.
For sure, which is why it's so important to stay informed. This deep dive has given you a good overview, but the best way to figure out what's right for you is to keep learning and exploring. Now, before we move on, let's take a step back and think about the bigger picture.
What are we thinking about?
How all of this could change customer service as we know it? What are the long-term consequences of widespread AI adoption?
Yeah, that's a really good question. We talked about how AI could make customer service more efficient, more personalized, available 24/7.
Exactly. But there's also a risk that things become less human. If we're interacting with machines all the time, could customer service start to feel cold and impersonal?
It's a tough balance. We want convenience and efficiency, but we also crave genuine human connection. So how do we make sure AI enhances customer service without taking away that human touch?
That's the key question. And in our next segment, we'll explore that in more detail. We'll dig deeper into the future of customer service in the age of AI. Stay tuned.
So before we got into comparing the platforms, we were talking about how all of this could change customer service, like forever. And not even just about making things faster or more efficient. It's how AI could change what we expect from all communication, even with other humans.
It is a fascinating thought, isn't it? We're already seeing things move more towards digital communication, like texting and social media are replacing face-to-face conversations. Those are usually short and to the point, not a lot of nuance or emotional depth.
Right. It's like we're used to getting information online quickly and easily. So if we're talking to these AI agents all the time,
Yeah.
and they're super helpful, will we start to be less patient with real people?
That's a real worry. What if we start expecting everyone to be as responsive and efficient as a machine? Like, what happens to empathy and understanding?
Yeah, those are some big questions. But before we go too far down that road, let's get back to those platforms. We were talking about how bland AI seems to be going after those big corporate clients.
Exactly. They're really pushing all those features that a big company would need. Custom infrastructure, fine-tuned models, integrations with all their existing systems. It's like they're building a custom-made AI solution for each business.
Yeah, and that makes sense. Why they don't list their prices publicly. They probably have to talk to each client to figure out exactly what they need before they can even give a quote.
Right. It's definitely not a one-size-fits-all kind of product. And then you have Callfluent AI on the other end of the spectrum. They're all about being easy to use and affordable.
Yeah, it's like
Uh,
they're the Apple of AI phone agents. Sleek, user-friendly, clear pricing plans. They even say you can set up an AI agent in less than a minute.
And remember, their huge library of voices,
Yeah.
different languages, accents, and they've partnered with 11 Labs, which is known for its super realistic AI voices.
It's like they're trying to make it super easy for anyone to use AI, no matter your tech skills or your budget. And then there's Synflow AI, sort of carving out their own space in the middle.
Yeah, they're the real-time specialists. They're all about handling those complicated calls and making sure things transition smoothly between the AI and a human agent. And even triggering actions after a call ends. It's like they're trying to automate entire workflows, not just individual tasks.
And their assistant teams feature,
Yep.
where you can have a whole bunch of AI agents working together under one phone number.
Exactly. It's way smarter and more efficient than those old phone trees.
So we have three very different platforms, each with their own strengths and target markets. But no matter which one you choose, they all have one thing in common. They're collecting a lot of data about the people they interact with.
That's right. And that raises some important questions about data privacy and how that information is being used.
Yeah, exactly. Like what happens to all those recordings of the conversations? Who has access to them? How are they being used to train the AI?
Those are all valid concerns. It's something consumers should be thinking about. When they're using these systems, companies need to be transparent about their data collection practices and make sure they're protecting user privacy.
It's all part of the bigger conversation about responsible AI development. We can't just jump into new technology without thinking about the potential downsides.
Absolutely. We have to ask the tough questions
Yeah.
and make sure companies are using AI ethically.
Okay, so we've talked about data privacy. But what about the impact on jobs? Some people are worried that these AI agents are going to put a lot of human workers out of a job.
It's a very legitimate concern. It's something we need to address as a society. As AI gets more sophisticated, we need to think about retraining programs for workers who might be displaced by these technologies.
And maybe even explore new economic models, like universal basic income. So everyone benefits from these advances in technology, not just the companies developing them.
It's a complicated issue. There's no easy answer, but we can't just ignore it.
It's interesting to think about how the role of the human customer service agent might change as AI gets better. Will humans become more like supervisors, overseeing the AI
Yeah.
and stepping in for the more complicated issues?
It's definitely possible. AI could handle the routine stuff, answering basic questions, collecting information, and humans could focus on building relationships, solving complex problems, providing emotional support. It could be a really powerful partnership.
Yeah, like a tag team. AI and humans working together.
Exactly. And it's not just customer service. This shift toward AI-powered communication, it could have a huge impact across many different industries.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Well, imagine AI assistants helping doctors diagnose patients, or lawyers preparing for court cases, or teachers personalizing lessons for each student.
Wow, that's a whole other level.
The possibilities are pretty incredible, but we have to remember the risks as well as the benefits.
Right, like we talked about. Job displacement, data privacy, ethical development.
Exactly. We need to use this technology responsibly.
Well, I think this has given our listeners a lot to think about. We've explored what these AI agents can do, the benefits, the risks, the impact on society.
It's been a great deep dive, and I hope it sparked some curiosity and maybe even a little bit of healthy skepticism.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to shift gears for a minute
Mhm.
and talk about something that's really important to me, the human element. With all this talk about efficiency and automation, I think it's easy to forget that customer service is about human connection, empathy, understanding, building relationships.
I agree. That's something that AI can't really replicate.
Exactly. So as we move forward with all this AI,
Yeah.
we can't lose sight of that human element.
You have to make sure AI is enhancing human connection, not replacing it.
Well said. And with that, we're going to wrap up this part of our deep dive. But the conversation doesn't end here. In our next segment, we're going to look at some specific examples of how businesses are using AI agents. And we'll give you some tips for choosing the right platform for your needs.
Looking forward to it.
Okay, so we're back. And just to recap, We've talked about how these AI phone agents work, the good and the bad, and how they could change everything.
You have a lot to think about for sure.
But for this last part,
Yeah.
let's make it really practical for our listeners. We keep mentioning these three platforms: Bland AI, CallFluent AI,
Yeah.
SynthFlow AI. Can we do like a head-to-head comparison so our listeners can get a better sense of which one might be right for them?
Yeah, good idea. Like we said, they all offer AI agents for calls,
Yeah.
natural sounding voices, integrations, but they each have a different approach, and they're targeting different kinds of customers.
Right. Like Bland AI seems to be going after those big enterprise clients. They use all this fancy language, custom infrastructure, fine-tuned models.
Exactly. They're looking for companies with complex needs and probably big budgets, offering very tailored solutions.
And they don't even mention pricing, which is kind of a clue.
Yeah, if you have to ask. You probably can't afford it. It's pretty typical for that kind of high-end software.
Then you have CallFluent AI, total opposite, all about simplicity, affordability, trying to reach a much wider audience.
Right. And they've done a good job of that. Clear pricing, easy to use, tons of different voices.
It's like they want to make it as easy as possible to get started with AI.
And then there's SynthFlow AI, kind of in between real-time capabilities, automation.
And that assistant teams feature. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Targeting agencies mostly.
So how does someone decide which of these three is right for them?
Well, it really depends on what they need, like their budget, technical skills, how complex their needs are.
Okay, so let's break it down. Budget first. CallFluent AI is super clear about their pricing. Bland AI and SynthFlow AI, not so much.
Yeah, that tells you something right there.
Then there's the technical side. CallFluent says you don't need any coding.
Right, plug and play.
Bland AI and SynthFlow AI
Mm.
probably need a bit more tech expertise. And then how complicated are your needs? Basic stuff like appointment reminders. CallFluent AI might be all you need. But if you need something more, complex conversations, real-time stuff, integrations, Bland AI or SynthFlow AI might be better.
And think about your industry, too.
Oh yeah, good point. Bland AI seems to focus on specific industries.
So if you need something tailored to your industry, they could be a good choice.
So basically, do your research, figure out what you need, and choose the platform that fits best.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Throw out some demos.
And remember, this is just the beginning. AI is changing so fast. Who knows what the future holds?
It's exciting, but also a little scary. So let's all stay informed, stay curious, and maybe a little skeptical.
Sounds like a good plan.
Well, I think we've covered a lot. What these AI agents can do, how they work,
Mm-hmm.
the benefits, the risks, the ethical considerations. We even compared 3 different platforms. So hopefully our listeners have a good understanding of this whole AI phone agent thing.
Yeah, it's been a great deep dive.
Thanks to all of you for listening and for sending in those sources. We really appreciate it.
And keep those questions coming.
Absolutely. We'll see you next time.